Hello Year 6 and welcome to today's reading session. Now today we are going to be focusing on understanding words that are maybe a bit more unfamiliar. And we're going to be reading two chapters. The first one's a bit longer, the second one's really short. But let's get into the text. Okay, so as we read this first chapter called Halloween, a couple of questions that I want you to think about. Now you don't actually need to write these down. You can do if you want, but you don't need to write the answers. It's more just things to think about. So, are there any clues to suggest that Summer is still a bit worried about what Savannah thinks of her? And also, why do you think Oggy wants to dress up as Boba Fett? Can you give me 2 reasons? Okay, so I think best thing to do, let's get reading the text. Halloween. At lunch the next day, Summer asked me what I was going to be for Halloween. Of course, I've been thinking about it since last Halloween, so I knew right away. Boba Fett. You know you can wear a costume to school on Halloween, right? No way. Really? So long as it's politically correct. What, like no guns and stuff? Exactly. What about blasters? I think a blaster's like a gun, Oggy. Oh man, I said, shaking my head. Boba Fett had a blaster. So Boba Fett, if you remember, was this character from Star Wars who's like, wears a full spacesuit, full mask and everything. At least we don't have to come like a character in a book anymore. In the lower school, that's what you had to do. Last year I was the Wicked Witch from the West, from The Wizard of Oz. But that's a movie, not a book. Hello, Summer answered. It was a book first. One of my favourite books in the world, actually. My dad used to read it to me every night in 1st grade. When Summer talks, especially when she's excited about something, her eyes squint like she's looking straight at the sun. I hardly ever see Summer during the day, since the only class we have together is English. But ever since that first lunch at school, we've sat at the summer table together every day, just the 2 of us. So, what are you going to be? What are you going to be? I asked her. I don't know yet. I know what I'd really want to go as, but I think it might be too dorky. You know, Savannah's group isn't even wearing costumes this year. They think we're too old for Halloween. That'll help you answer the question. What? That's just dumb. I know, right? I thought you didn't care about what those girls think. She shrugged and took a long drink of her milk. So what dorky thing do you want to dress up as? I asked her, smiling. Promise not to laugh. She raised her eyebrows and shoulders, embarrassed. A unicorn. I smiled and looked down at my sandwich. Hey, you promised not to laugh. She laughed. Okay, I said. But you're right. That is too dorky. I know, she said, but I have it all planned out. I'd make the head out of paper mache and paint the horn gold and make the mane gold, too. It would be so awesome. Okay, I shrugged. Then you should do it. Who cares what other people think, right? Maybe what I'll do is just wear it for the Halloween parade, she said, snapping her fingers. And I'll just be like a goth girl for school. Yeah, that's it. That's what I'll do. Sounds like a plan, I nodded. Thanks, Oggy, she giggled. You know, that's what I like best about you. I feel like I can tell you anything. Yeah, I answered, nodding. I gave her a thumbs up. Cool beans. Okay, so the questions. Are there any clues to suggest that Summer is still worried about what Savannah thinks of her? There was a couple. And then why do you think, so this is an inference question, why do you think Oggy wants to dress up as Boba Fett? Can you give 2 reasons? If you want to pause and write those down, you can do. But like I said, you don't have to. It would just impress me if you can write the answers. So the next chapter is called School Pictures. School Photos. School Pictures. It's a really quick one. But your task as we read this is to do this. So as we read the next 2 chapters, make a list of any words or phrases that you are unfamiliar with, because what we're going to be doing at the end of it is writing down kind of what they are. So actually, I end up showing you the whole chapter, the text of the whole chapter, but I'll read it to you anyway. School pictures. I don't think anyone will be shocked to learn that I don't want to have my school picture taken on October the 22nd. No way. No thank you. I stopped letting anyone take pictures of me a while ago. I guess you could call it a phobia. No, actually it's not a phobia. It's an aversion, which is a word I just learned in Mr. Brown's class. I have an aversion to having my picture taken. There, I used it in a sentence. I thought Mum would try to get me to drop my aversion to having my picture taken for school, but she didn't. Unfortunately, while I managed to avoid having the portrait taken, I couldn't get out of being part of the class picture. Ugh. The photographer looked like he'd just sucked on a lemon when he saw me. I'm sure he thought I ruined the picture. I was on one of the rows in the front, sitting down. I didn't smile, not that anyone could tell if I had. That's the end of that chapter. Quick one. So your task is choose 3 words that was in that chapter, and you can flip back a little bit if you want to see, that you're unfamiliar with. Find the meaning of them, so maybe use an online thesaurus, and then write them in your own sentence, okay? That for 3 words. And then you kind of got these 2 questions. So explain what the underlined words mean in the following sentence. I have an aversion to having my picture taken. So what does aversion mean? And then also I managed to avoid having the portrait taken. What does avoid mean? Okay. And that year 6 is today's reading lesson. So obviously have a go at those things. This video has been like 6 minutes long. You've got another, 10-15 minutes work to do on it. So quite a short lesson overall. Work hard. Like I say, I definitely want to see these words in your own sentences. I definitely want you to tell me what aversion means. I definitely want you to tell me what avoid means, and then I'd like to see those 2 answers from the previous chapter. Okay, year 6, good, bye.